Hi, everybody. Okay, it is still May 14, 2020. I'm going to be reading excerpts of this Rockefeller Foundation white paper that was passed along to me by a subscriber whom I really want to thank. Yes, the Rockefeller Foundation. National COVID-19 Testing Action Plan. Pragmatic steps to reopen our workplaces and our communities. What a document. But first, let me just show you a few things that are speeding along. I posted that short clip, Trump saying that he's going to mobilize the military, to give us vaccines. Well, this also came in just yesterday. Trump set to name former Glaxo exec as a vaccine czar. Remember he said he was going to drain the swamp? You know who's in the swamp? Us. That's how they think of us. They have disdain, contempt for us. We're the swamp that they're draining. Vaccine czar, military will give it out to us. Yeah. How's that Q thing doing? All right. New Orleans will require businesses to keep logs of customers who enter stores, restaurants. Your name, a contact telephone number, the time you entered, the time you leave. It's not just the smartphone that is tracing your steps, but business owners required to keep a log of everybody who comes in. And you don't even have to purchase anything. I will not go into any store that demands my name and telephone number. But it's not just New Orleans. Well, it's Washington, and it's across the country. It's all over the country. Kansas County, in a little rural Kansas County. That's right. Businesses got to track those customers. There is a lawsuit. Let's see what happens with the lawsuit. But it truly is all over the country. Maine. In order to open your businesses, restaurants in Maine, well, you have a whole... It's really fascinating. Maine, a rural state, pretty much. Very small population. And the restrictions are so intense in Maine. This governor of Maine, wow, she is a little Nazi. But yeah, Maine too. Contact tracing purposes, maintain records of customers, including one customer name and contact information per party and the server of the table. What is happening today? This is called rapid conditioning of not just the American people, people all over the world, but Americans. You are being rapidly conditioned to the new world order, the reshaping, of your psyche. You're not free. You will be tracked all the time. Oh, the coronavirus. Well, it seems to be the virus that just keeps on giving. You hear, well, we'll have a vaccine in 6 months. Trump, well, he stated at the end of the year, the military will be able to give an awful lot of people that vaccine. Then you hear from other experts, 2 years. Then you hear, oh, I don't think we'll ever have a vaccine. They just want to extend this as long as possible for them to put the final nails into this new world order world. This dystopian tyranny on steroids. Well, it's all happening very, very quickly. But you are to get used to just divulging more and more of your private information. You are not free, and you'll be tracked 24/7 everywhere you go. And yes, you will have to listen to your authority figures. It's really sad what is taking place. So, yes, that is all over the country. Businesses, restaurants. Get those names and telephone numbers. All right. I just need to click off some of these articles because there's just too many. Open. Your boss is watching you. So this working from home. Oh, and the students who are doing the tele-education and the teachers on those tele-screens doing your lessons with the kiddies, you're all being watched. It's and universities also. There are software programs that employers and universities and schools are using to make sure that everybody is working and everybody is attending class and everybody is doing what the dictators want the little children to do. Obey. Be good little workers. Your boss is watching you. Work from home, boom, leads to more surveillance. E-commerce worker received a staff-wide email from her company. Employees were to install software called Hub Staff immediately on their personal computers so it could track their mouse movements and keyboard strokes and record the web pages they visit. They also had to download an app called T-Sheets to their phones to keep tabs on their whereabouts during work hours. Wow. There are 5 of us. This is a woman who spoke to NPR. There are 5 of us, and we always came to work. We always came on time. There was no reason to start location tracking us. Get used to it. This is the world that we are entering, and it doesn't seem to be an exit. Oh, they might let you out the exit door for, well, a day or 2, but you're going back in. Companies are ramping up the use of software to monitor what their employees do all day. A woman who works in a marketing small company in Minnesota, her employer started using software called Time Doctor. It downloads videos of employee screens while they're working. It also can enable a computer's webcam to take a picture of the employee every 10 minutes. If you're idle for a few minutes, if you go to the bathroom or whatever, a pop-up will come up and it'll say, you have 60 seconds to start working again, or we're going to pause your time. That meant stepping away from her computer briefly could cut into her pay. And she said, I just feel like crap. I feel like I'm not trusted. I feel ashamed of myself. She said, referring to a short break she took to speak with a colleague by phone. My coworkers were really, really upset, but everyone was too afraid to say anything. Well, being afraid to say anything got us right here. Tracking software tattleware. Tattleware. Oh, this is what they are designing. Don't get close to anybody. Break all bonds, with human beings. And tattle. Snitch on one another. Also, get that software. The tattleware. This is not the kind of world that anybody would want to live in, but it's happening really fast. So, Awareness Technologies, their business has tripled. It's programs for managers to keep a record of every task employees are doing on their computers. Each worker then gets assigned a productivity score. Sounds a little like China. Their social credit score. Every employee is ranked accordingly. Are they generally active on programs and websites that I would consider productive, like Excel, PowerPoint, Word, email, as opposed to YouTube or Facebook? That's primarily what our customers are looking to know. And this guy, Brad Miller, he runs a Connecticut-based company, Awareness Technologies. Dave, a CEO of Hubstaff, his company software, monitoring software, has tripled. We have seen a massive increase in the number of people needing our platform. Remote work has gotten a huge boost as everyone has been forced to work outside of the office. We feel like these changes may be here for good. And a whole lot of companies and corporations are saying, stay at home, work at home. No need to come back to the office. You've got Big Brother on your telly screen. 1984, anyone? Tracking technology is taking the place of a manager's eyes. I think if people know it's happening, then people will act better than they would otherwise, because we all act better when someone is watching. And I guess that's why they're bringing in Big Brother on steroids, because we all act better when people are watching, right? Well, a whole lot of people do, and that's unfortunate, because they should just be acting, being real wherever they go, not putting on a pretense, not, oh, I have people watching, so I'm gonna act in a way that will get me approval, but I'm not really that person. Ooh, that's got to go. That psyche has to go. I don't get the people will act better when someone is watching. Feel icky about these bosses quantifying keystrokes, how many emails they fire off each day. These are employees of companies that are using this technology. Then there's a lower tech version of that, which is people whose managers are asking them to stay on video all day long so they can watch over them every minute of the day, which is very intrusive. Maybe intrusive, not illegal, highly immoral. But hey, there's no constitutional issue here. So employers can do this. They can make you a slave. there aren't a whole lot of legal protections for employees who are being monitored. State laws vary. Okay, we know that. But look, this we don't live. I see a lot of people leaving comments about lawsuits and all this kind of stuff, and it might get you somewhere, in the very, very near future. But we truly are moving into a cyber world, into a very different world, where the dictates will come from the local authorities. The laws are also being reshaped as the world gets reshaped. All right. Once an employer makes that investment to acquire the software, they're not likely to give it up. It destroys morale for everyone, and everyone has since kind of taken a step back and said, all right, if this is how they're going to treat us, why go the extra mile? Because clearly it doesn't matter to them. So one employee who was interviewed said, I can't do it. Got to get a new job. Not worth it for me right now to sacrifice my personal privacy and all my data for a paycheck. It just made me very uncomfortable. But where do you go? Where do you go now to get a new job? Oh, right. We've had what? Another 2 million, so we're up to about 44 million that have lost their jobs. There's not a lot of jobs for people to get anymore. All right. You're being conditioned to live in a smart city. I will link below to this article. I found it quite good. Each crisis in the 21st century has been aggressively and ruthlessly wielded into a massive wealth and power grab by the American oligarchy and national security state. 9/11 whittled away constitutional rights via mass surveillance under the guise of, we need protection. Give up your rights then. Okay. Money grab. The last financial crisis, concentrated wealth, didn't help Main Street at all, hurt Main Street. Whole lot of people lost their jobs. Financial feudalism, it's here. Oh, but wait, it was there 2008. Now it's really here. Making the Federal Reserve, mega banks more powerful. That's 2008. The money grab, the power grabs. This has been going on and on and on and on, only getting more grabby and more obvious. And we do nothing. We as a people. Financial collapse in 2008, 2009 taught those in power they can get away with unprecedented, unaccountable theft during an economic and stock market crash. 9/11 demonstrated people will relinquish civil liberties without much protest when immersed in a state of fear. Fear works. That's why they keep it up 24/7. Mainstream media. Be scared. Be scared. Well, unfortunately, the money grab in 2008, it looks like a walk in the park. This money grab taking place, stunning, shocking, not shocking. Wow, it's a wow. And negative rates are coming. So more money to grab. So during moments of heightened confusion and fear, the public is sold and conditioned in a subtle way to accept some new reality they never asked for or wanted. The smart city appears to be a key oligarch bucket list item. I've started focusing more attention on it after watching the following. Well, you can watch the creepy clip from Reuters. It's the smart city 5G videos. So I bring this up to tell you that this article excerpts this article, The Screen New Deal. Very good article, and it's written by Naomi Klein, who, liberal leftist. She wrote this shock doctrine, and these people were the people that I used to read, and Amy Goodman, Democracy Now! Well, Naomi Klein, if you want to listen to her talk about what's happening in New York, then go to Democracy Now! And she's been, I think it was just today that she has been on that show of Amy Goodman's. I can't watch these people anymore because I feel greatly betrayed, especially from Amy Goodman, Democracy Now!, who is such a United Nations sweetheart, the climate change pusher. Naomi Klein, I read this article. It's very, very long, but it gives a whole lot of detail about what is taking place in New York. Governor Cuomo, I posted a video, 2 days ago? He turning over the education system to Bill Gates to re-image education. He turned over to Bloomberg something, I can't remember, but no doubt having maybe to do with finances. He's turned over to, none other than Eric Schmidt. Eric Schmidt, at the dead center of it all, is Eric Schmidt. Well before Americans understood the threat of COVID-19, Schmidt had been on an aggressive lobbying and public relations campaign pushing precisely the Black Mirror vision of society that Cuomo has just empowered him to build. At the heart of this vision is seamless integration of government with a handful of Silicon Valley giants, with public schools, hospitals, doctors, offices, police, military, all outsourcing at a high cost many of their core functions to private tech companies. Public-private partnerships? Well, you just went public-private. Cuomo sold you out to Eric Schmidt. What's coming to New York? Well, I'm going to get into this article in another video, but it's funny because I just came across this. Now, I posted a video about Oregon, who, they decided to close off two, those four-legged round-wheeled vehicles, closing it off because social distancing. They had to give you more room to walk, to ride a bike. It's all about social distancing. They want to keep you safe. No, it is about conditioning you to get that your area is being reshaped, and, you will eventually be walking or biking. You won't be using a car. And they want to, they do it incrementally, get you used to it. They don't want to do their shock doctrine. They don't want to. They do it incrementally. So a whole lot of streets were closed off in Oregon. New York City, 12 more miles of New York City street closed. Got to keep you safe. Right. Yep. Well, let's listen to Comrade de Blasio.
We want to make it easier for people to socially distance, particularly as the warmer weather comes on. And the Open Streets Initiative is helping us to do that. We've been working with the City Council, NYPD, DOT, a real joint effort to keep building out the Open Streets vision. So, to date, we announced several waves of open streets opening up, total of over 9 miles. By tomorrow, we will double that total. 12 miles more of open streets will be opening tomorrow, Thursday.
You know, when you know about Agenda 2030 and you know what the plans are, then you listen to these people and you're like, oh my God, wait, don't let these people get away with it. But they won't check it out. Do you think the coronavirus warrants an open street initiative? Is that what he said? Really? You think that is warranted? New Yorkers, you're really, I don't know. I'm a New Yorker, okay? And I feel a little like I want to come back and knock on all your heads. Are you, what are you doing? What are you doing? What have you been doing since 9/11? Okay, it was horrifying and it was shocking, but people generally come out of their shock and return to like a normal state. Something has happened to New Yorkers. Yeah. Pedestrian and bicycle only thoroughfares. We want to make it easier for people to socially distance, so no cars on these streets, and here are all the streets. Ow! Wow, Queens and Brooklyn and Flushing and all over. And yeah, Manhattan. Yeah, because, you're walking on Jackson Avenue in the Bronx, 43rd Street to 47th Street. They needed to make sure that no cars were there. Because are the sidewalks really narrow and it's impossible to social distance? Car-free open streets on 9 miles. They're going towards a goal of 100 total miles for walking, running, biking, and recreation. And this is, this is going under coronavirus? De Blasio concocted the plan after weeks of pressure from advocates and elected officials upset over dangerous crowding in parks during the coronavirus pandemic. Okay, so wow, I get to hang out on pavement because now there's no cars allowed. No, I get to hang out in between 143rd Street and 147th Street instead of going to the park. Don't you think people would rather go to the park? So how does that minimize people going to the park? Okay, slap me if my thinking is askew on this. Whoa. Okay, check this out. A heavy police presence for those initial open street, pilot program. They had a heavy police presence when they didn't allow cars or trucks. Why do people go crazy when they're walking on a street and they realize, oh my God, I can walk like in the middle of a street? Well, New Yorkers might, because it's a wow. But does this make any sense? So, people were upset about the heavy police presence. So the newest batch of open streets are going to be patrolled by a mix of local community groups, business improvement districts, and police precincts. Okay. The city does want to install more bike lane miles this year. It's all Agenda 2030, but coming rapidly. I think these, globalists, just these nut jobs, have just got tired of, doing it so slowly. They have been increasing, on an annual basis. It's been increasing. But 2020, woof, okay. They're bringing it about so fast. And I also understand. They know it doesn't matter. Okay, did you know that Greta Thunberg is going to be on a panel, CNN, as an expert coronavirus speaker on an expert coronavirus panel? Greta? How dare you be 5 feet, not 6 feet away? How dare you not wear a mask? Where are your gloves? All right, I'm not going to read this. I'm going to do it in another video. Yeah, I go on. I'm sorry, I go on. But did you know that Ohio urges employers to snitch on workers who stay home over virus fears? Wait a second. You're snitching on workers who stay home. But I thought the snitching was on people who went outside their homes or weren't wearing a mask, or just snitch. All right? Just whatever you can snitch about, snitch. Just snitch. There'll be a new social media platform called Snitch. And if that comes about, know that I never heard it from anywhere. That's an original. How to apply to be a contact tracer and make up to $22 an hour with benefits. And you don't even have to be skilled. You know how many people are going to be signing up for this? Money, money, money. It talks. It talks. Good jobs. In fact, in the Rockefeller paper, it says $40,000 a year. It's a low-skilled job. Not bad. Not bad. I'll leave you with this. National lab scientists work to reprogram genes to fight COVID-19. DARPA. It's DARPA. Wow. Genetic sequencing tools and CRISPR-based technology help scientists thoroughly probe the most micro happenings inside a cells, in multi-dimensional ways. And researchers at Sandia National Laboratory are now putting them to use against COVID-19. We can change your genes. Yeah. Can't wait to get online at the DARPA store for changing of my DNA. Well, I'll leave the link below. Yeah, it's getting pretty wild, huh? Pretty crazy. It sure is. I mean, it's hard to Pentagon Task Force turns to data to shape COVID-19 response. Well, they are attacking this invisible enemy as if it has declared war on us. So the Pentagon is all in their agencies lean into automation during the COVID-19 pandemic. Automation, robots taking over jobs. Oh my God, there is so much happening so fast. Well, it's hard to read everything, so I'll link below to this article if any of you want to do a speed read and give us a summation of what it says in the comments section. Groovy. All right. Next video, the Rockefeller Foundation. Pragmatic steps to reopen our workplaces and our communities, and don't think they're going to reopen normally as they were pre-corona. Oh my corona. It's never coming back. Those days are gone. Coronavirus, it's here to stay. They are going to use this and use this and use this as long as they need to put the final touches in this new world order. And there will be no escaping it. But I'll link below to everything, even the Rockefeller Foundation white paper. If you just want to read it and not listen to me, go for it. All right, guys. If I don't see you, if you don't show up for the next video, have a good night.